Orchestra.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Chris. Hey, Gene. Hey, Karen and Laura and Timothy. Hey, Ellen. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Drink Like the Dickens. Hey, Octavio. Hey, Miguel.
Let's dance, and that's no idle
Gene,
invitation,
Heather,
ladies and
Christine, and
gentlemen.
Martin.
It comes
Hello.
From Benny Goodman and his orchestra.
Hey, Diane. Hey,
They
Sue. Hey,
take their
Kelly.
responsibilities very seriously in purveying good music to the dancing public. And now, an
Hey,
original
Tracy.
arrangement by Benny Goodman of Jingle Bells.
Kathy, hope you can stay with us. Hey, Andrea. Hey, Patty. Hey, Jordana. Hey, Susan. Hey, Gladys. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Timberly. Hey, Grace. It is 2 degrees outside in Chicago right now. Yeah, this is a pinstripe one. I still don't like the way I'm looking tonight, but it's alright. Hey, Grace. Hey, Miguel and Kelly and Marita. Hey, glad to have you back, Donna. Hey, Beth. Hey, Cindy. Hey, David. Hey, thanks, Cindy. You can see my menorah in the background there. I'm trying to point. How do I point? It's there. Hey, Kurt. I'm not in Minnesota right now. What's that behind me? There's a lot of stuff behind me. Hey, Karen. Hey, Laura. There's, we got Aiden's back there, Lenora's back there, Ronnie's back there. All of Ronnie's Christmas stuff is back there. Hey, Mom. Hey, David. Hey, Molly. Okay, that sounds good. I made a pot roast tonight. Hey, Kitty. Hey, Martha. Feels like negative 19. I am going out right after this tour, you know. Fully I am. Hey, Christine.
Benny Goodman and his orchestra.
Hey, June. Hey, Sue. And Susan and June.
Where Am I?
Hey, Karen. Hey, Laura. Welcome along, everybody. Alexa, webcam. Alexa, webcam. Did you just turn that lamp off, Veronica? You got it back on there? Huh. Alright. It is, in fact, pant freezing weather right now, I think. Oh, yeah, never press the button. Hey, Diane. There we go. Alexa, webcam. There. We got about an inch of snow out there right now. Not too much snow. I don't think most people's Alexa have that command. So I'm pretty safe saying that. Bill, I bet so. It's been snow, but we didn't get a ton of it or anything. Evening, everybody. Welcome along. Hey, Eileen. Evening, Susan. Welcome once and everybody. One and all. Ladies and gentlemen and those beyond the binary. A $1,400 bill? Is that a thing? Who's on the 1,400? Oh, yeah, okay. Their bill was $1,400. Like, yeah, who's on the $1,400 bill? Hey, everybody, look who's here. I'm drinking a Whitechapel Punch tonight, and I got Miles here. Miles been driving me nuts the last hour or so. He let me work on the Johann Hawk book most of the day. I don't know if I'll freeze any pants this year. I kind of feel like I've taken that gimmick as far as I can. I've done 2 podcasts about it already this year. One for NPR. Eggnog style beer? I don't know about that. I have been enjoying some Evan Williams nog this year.
An unforgettable Irving Berlin tune, You Forgot to Remember.
Oh, there's Priya's coming up behind me here. You'll see Priya down there. I stepped to the side enough. There she goes. It's taking her a minute to warm up to Lenora being in here. Eggnog Brandy Alexander, that sounds good. Hey, Bill. Well, since we've no place to go, let us know. Hey, let that crazy snow keep falling. Kathy, that is very weird. I am definitely not trying to show you Veggie Tales around here. Hey, Helene. Hey, Grandma Belle. Hey, Jennifer. Hi, Megan. Hey, people. Hey, Eric. Hey, Pepperana. Yes, everybody ought to get some booze. Everybody ought to get some booze. Everybody ought to have a drink in hand. Or, just water, whatever you feel like drinking is okay here. Hey, Aunt Cindy. Okay, well, I can't compete with Top Gun Maverick. I don't think. I haven't seen it. Have I ever had 1800? I think. The brand of bourbon. Hey, Lisa. I'm having a Whitechapel Punch tonight. Hey, Geraldine. Evening, Gregory and Brooklyn. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Kathleen. Now, many of the recipes are in the listing for this episode. Coquito does sound good. Oh, this is This is about a whipped pineapple Cambord martini. Okay.
The music goes around and around.
I don't know. I always imagine. I've never had a Tom and Jerry, but I imagine it's very much like. I imagine it's very much like an Eggnog Alexander. Hey, Ed. Of course, you don't have to drink along with us. You can drink water. You can pound Pepto-Bismol. Just don't drive later. Oh, 1800 is tequila. I don't know if I have had it then. I don't do a whole lot of tequila. Nothing against it. I just don't really make a lot of stuff that includes it. Well, David, be careful with that ice water. I just did a whole thing about how dangerous people used to think ice water was. One of Johann Hawk's wife's previous husband had allegedly died of drinking ice water. Went into a real rabbit hole finding out if the mayor of New Orleans circa the early 1800s had a whole shipment of ice melted down before anybody could start drinking ice water out of it. That's normally what I have during these tours. Normally I just have a shot of brandy that I nurse the whole night. Hey, Cindy, good luck there. We're not getting as much snow as they thought we were going to here, so that helps. We're going to let Benny Goodman finish up this tune. Joanne Ronnie's birthday was the other day. As soon as Benny Goodman has finished up this tune, we are going to get started. Just realized what time it was. I've just been standing here talking this whole time. Hey, Jennifer. All right. Well, that's Benny wrapping it up. So that means it's time to keep the music going. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our theme song.
Climb aboard, cause you don't know exactly where or when we'll go. Chicago 1893, or the Gilded Age in NYC. Blast off into outer space. Drink till you're flat on your face. From the comfort of your home. So if you puke alone, one day we'll even find that place in France. And don't come crying to us if you pee your pants. Time travel pub crawl. Time travel pub crawl. Time travel pub crawl. Yeah!
Really should have ended on a whammy bar on that song. I'll fix it. Welcome along, everybody. Welcome once again to our annual Drink Like the Dickens virtual time travel pub crawl. I'm Adam Seltzer for Mysterious Chicago Tours. I'm going to show you around all the people we got here tonight, besides Miles running around on the ground. We got Aiden back over here. And this is Ronnie and Lenora back behind here. All of Ronnie's Christmas stuff. And my menorah's over here, you see. We go with electric ones because Miles really likes fire. Priya's running around here someplace too. But anyway, I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago. I've been a tour guide and historian here for about 20 years now. Got about a dozen Chicago history books out, including Mysterious Chicago, the book. Just Kill Me, a young adult novel about a ghost tour guide who makes places more haunted by killing people at them. And I've also got a Dickens-related young adult novel, but it never came out. Smart Aleck's Guide to American History, Murder Maps USA, new from Thames and Hudson. And Graceland Cemetery, Chicago's Stories, Symbols, and Secrets, which of course includes the story of Augustus Dickens, Charles's no-good brother who came here to the United States and died in Chicago back in the 1860s. There's actually quite a number of Dickens graves that I've gone to over time. There's Alfred Dickens, his brother, is in Uptown Trinity Cemetery in New York. Francis, one of his sons, is at a cemetery in Moline, Illinois, of all places. He's actually got these two gravestones, and nearby I found this gravestone with a pair of shoes on top of it. The gravestone said, "I will come to you." It's just an urban legend waiting to happen. Okay, but what we do over here is a time travel pub crawl. We figured out when we started doing virtual tours, hey, if we're doing it virtually, we don't have to be bound by time or space. We could go to any pub in history or even ones that aren't exactly, real. But how do we get around to those things? Well, in 1915, a submarine was found in the Chicago River. They called it the Fool Killer and put it on display on South State Street. For a dime, you could see the submarine and the dead guy they found on board the thing. Or said they did anyway. It disappears off the record circa 1916, but we're going to say we found it in the couch tomb, and not only did we find it, but it doesn't just go underwater, it goes through time and space. So, we are now going to go virtually to a couple of things. It is Time Travel Pub Crawl Drink Like the Dickens, where we'll be going to some pubs associated with the works of Charles Dickens and drinking some drinks associated with the works of Charles Dickens, starting all the way in the UK. Work, button, work. Here we go. Punch it, Chewie. All right. We go all the way to the UK, and here in London is the Lamb and Flag. This is a pub that has been here since the 1600s. John Dryden, the poet, once got beaten up and left for dead in this alley. Upstairs is a place called the Dryden Room. Back behind that is a place called the Snuggery, which is also known as the Cozy. That was a feature in a lot of British bars. You see references to the Snuggery in a lot of Dickens books. I know Little Dorrit, for one. There's a Snuggery in the Marshalsea, the debtor's prison. Now, here's a nice shot of the inside of that. Here's where the Dryden Room looks. Here's the Snuggery. It wouldn't be the most comfortable place in the world to cuddle, but I'd try it. I'd be down. Now, all over there are claims that Charles Dickens hung out in this place himself. He never mentions it once in his letters, so we really don't know if he did, but he was in the area a lot when he was a younger man. He worked in a blacking warehouse right down the street when he was a kid, which was a closely guarded secret. It's very difficult to imagine reading the works of Charles Dickens today without knowing that his dad was in debtor's prison or that he had worked in a blacking warehouse for a while, but it was a very closely guarded secret. As was his affair with Nell Turner, a woman much, much younger than he was. But by hanging out around all the writers who hung out in this pub, he learned shorthand, and that got him a job as a court reporter. And being a job as a court reporter got him, started him writing these sketches. They called them the Sketches by Boz. They became very popular. Shorthand looked about like this. That was his first book, just a whole little bit of sketches of London life, including these drawings like the sketch of the Gin Palace. It may have also been here that he honed his own recipe for punch, which is really quite delicious to make. What you do is you gotta peel a bunch of lemons.
Apply to any quantity. Peel into a very strong common basin, which may be broken in case of accident without damage to the owner's piece or pocket, the rinds of 3 lemons, cut very thin and with as little as possible of the white coating between the peel and the fruit attached. Add a double handful of lump sugar, good measure, and a pint of good old rum, and a large wine glass full of brandy. If not a large claret glass, say 2. Set this on fire by filling a warm silver spoon with the spirit, lighting the contents, and pouring them gently in.
This is the cool part right here.
Let it burn for 3 or 4 minutes at least, stirring from time to time. Then extinguish it by covering the basin with a tray, which will immediately put out the flame. Then squeeze in the juice of 3 lemons and add a quart of boiling water.
See, I usually just add boiling water to the cup, but it is absolutely delicious stuff. Also, when I made it, use the dark rum and the brandy. The brandy that I got was Paul Masson brand, which I didn't know was even still a thing. I only really know it, not even from the Orson Welles commercials, but of parodies of the Orson Welles commercials, or of course, the outtakes from the Orson Welles commercials, which are really, it's unfortunate. All the work that Orson Welles did, this is what comes up first when you Google him.
With overlap, action please. Action Orson, please.
Just do anything?
No, sorry, cut. Yeah, rolling. 102, take 2.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
102, take 3. Action please.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
All right, so while we are hanging out here virtually in the Lamb and Flag, let's bring up a little bit of music. And we're actually going to go to France. You know, the taste of French piano players have always been celebrated for their excellence. There is an Alabama piano player inspired by that same French excellence. Well, in this case, we're going to bring in one of her instrumentals. I don't have a video over this one, but frequently I talk about the Getty Mausoleum over in Graceland Cemetery, which includes the remains of a young woman named Alice Getty. Well, she wasn't young by the time she died. We don't have to feel bad about this or anything. But she originally wanted to be a composer and actually had sheet music published all over the place. So I had Mary Crowell, the Mad Doctor of Alabama, record one of her pieces from sheet music. So this, performed by Mary Crowell, the Mad Doctor of Alabama, is Pluie for piano in F major by Alice Getty. Enjoy the ambiance, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Crowell performing a work by Alice Getty, pictured here in her passport photo. Really, about the only pictures you can find of her are her passport photos. But welcome along. Once again, those of you just joining us, this is a virtual time travel pub crawl, and the theme tonight is Drink Like the Dickens. Now we're going to walk like the Dickens. Well, we'll get in the Fool Killer. I won't make you guys walk the 20 miles from London to Dorking. But Dickens used to. Dickens was a real power walker. It's even been speculated that when he went on these long walks, he would go into almost like a dream state. It was almost like a state of being asleep. As he walked roughly 20 miles, through the crowd, in this case, all the way to Dorking. I have been to Dorking strictly because I wanted to buy some postcards. But in Dorking is a place called the White Horse Hotel, which was just renovated with a whole bunch of Charles Dickens stuff. It is rumored that Dickens stayed here while he was working on his first book, The Pickwick Papers. Well, Sketches by Boz was the first book. This was the first novel, which is really a very funny book. It is in fact if you do the numbers, the number of people who bought this book, it amounts to like 80% of all people who could read owned a copy of the Pickwick Papers. It is the most popular book of all time from a certain point of view.
A certain point of view?
And you'll find a great many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our point of view. But it is very funny. There's a great character, Mr. Jingle, who's a carriage driver, and he shouts out, "Heads, heads, take care of your heads. Terrible place, dangerous work. Other day, 5 children, mother, tall lady, eating sandwiches, forgot the arch, crash, knock, children look round, mother's head off, sandwich in her hand, no mouth to put it in. Head of a family off. Shocking, shocking." I redo that line quite a bit when we're on the Summer of George boat. We always have to duck under these bridges. I've readapted that quite a bit. And the sales were modest until they met a character by the name of Sam Weller. Sam Weller was a kind of a Cockney character who was considered extremely funny at the time. His jokes are now what we now call Wellerisms, like, "There, now we look compact and comfortable," as the father said when he cut his little boy's head off to cure him from squinting. Now, at the time, it used to be like everybody knew, and so many people read this, it got to be a really big thing. There are whole books about just the inns and taverns that they go to in the Pickwick Papers. And if you mentioned some tavern that they went to in chapter 3 and they really went there in chapter 37, you were going to get letters about it. But here is Sam Weller hanging out with his father at the Marquis of Granby, which is a whole other pub that appears in the book. His father here would drink pineapple rum. That's another drink you can try. This is probably the easiest Dickens drink to make. Take rum, take pineapple juice, add hot water to taste. But hey, we're getting a message in here from, hey, Mandy Crypt, everybody.
Hey, Adam, what are the Pickwick Papers even about?
What are the Pickwick Papers about? What is the Pickwick Papers about? About... Let's see if Eli knows this. Hey Eli. Eli's a very smart. Hey.
Adam.
Hey, you're a smart guy, right? You're pretty smart.
I'd like to think so, yes.
Do you know what the Pickwick Papers is about?
The Pickwick Papers. Now that is an interesting question. On the one hand, what does it mean for something to be about something? Is it the reader's impression or the author's intention that really matters? Can we really know what something is about? Now, the Greeks had an interesting theory that...
You don't know, do you?
Not at all, no.
Okay. Well... Oh, hey, we're getting a message from Layla, too. Hey, Layla Royale, what's up?
Adam, I have a message for you from the effing Chicago headquarters.
Uh-oh.
If you don't find out what the Pickwick Papers are about, Christmas won't come this year.
It won't.
Hey, I don't know how holidays work. Don't ask me.
Oh, she doesn't know. Anybody else? Anybody? Hey, you guys. This whole crowd. And anybody here? Dickens allegedly hung out in this pub, you know. Can any of you guys tell me? Anybody? Oh, no. Isn't there anyone who can tell me what the Pickwick Papers is all about? Maybe Hipster Bert knows.
Oh, hi, Adam. I was just sitting down to a cool glass of barrel-aged kombucha.
That's gross, Hipster Bert. I wanted to ask you about Dickens.
Go on.
Have you ever read the Pickwick Papers?
You mean the book that sold to 80% of all people who could read when it came out? That's really mainstream.
Well, yeah, maybe in 1840.
My favorite Charles Dickens book is a really obscure one that you probably haven't heard of. Martin Chuzzlewit.
Yeah, that's where Martin and Mark Tapley go to America.
It's a forgotten masterpiece.
Agreed.
The doctor on Doctor Who said the American bit is rubbish, but he's wrong.
Right, but what is the Pickwick Papers about?
Don't be so basic, Adam. Miles!
All right, we are going to have to go to the United States to try to figure this one out. So let me see here. Let me see what these St. Patrick's guys are up to one more time. Here we go on our way to America. Whoa.
Charles Dickens, you're brilliant, you are. Completely 100% brilliant. I read them all. Great Expectations, Oliver Twist, and what's the other one? The one with the ghosts.
Christmas Carol?
No, the one with the trains. The Signalman, that's it. Terrifying. The best short story ever written. You're a genius. Mind you, I've got to say, that American bit in Martin Chuzzlewit, what's that about?
Was that just padding or what? I mean, it's rubbish, that bit. I thought you said you were my fan.
Oh, well, you can't take criticism.
All right, so here in the United States, first we're going to go down a place that appears on one of my walking tours, Architecture of Mysterious Chicago, which I might revamp next year because it's kind of stopped selling ticket-wise. But we're going to duck down this little alley here to what is sometimes said to be the oldest street in Chicago. It is definitely not, but it's very old-looking. This is called Pickwick Place. Known as that because even way back in the day, they thought this looked like something out of the Pickwick Papers. And back in the old days, we'll just line it up here perfectly. Back in the alley, back in the day. Oh, we're missing a picture here. Okay, back in the alley was Abson's English Chop House. Colonel Abson was generally said to be like a Dickens character himself. At the turn of the 20th century, he was serving up the finest British food in Chicago. Let's see if he knows anything about the Pickwick Papers.
Welcome to Pickwick Place. I'm Colonel Abson. Hope you like mutton.
Do you do any special drinks here?
Just beer. Now, how do you take your mutton?
Really, I just want to know, since you're here in Pickwick Place, do you know what the Pickwick Papers is about?
Did Big Jim send you? Is this another gambling raid? Where would I even keep a faro table in a place this small?
Well, I was just going to say...
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah, we're just going to get out of here. Everybody, let's make our way over down in the alley. I know somebody else who might be able to tell us. First, we're going to be coming into Newsy's Alley down over here. There's a great bit in Martin Chuzzlewit about imitating the Newsies, shouting, "Here's this morning's New York sewer. Here's this morning's New York stabber. Here's the New York family spy. Here's the New York private listener. Here's the New York peeper. Here's the New York plunderer. Here's the New York keyhole reporter. Here's the New York rowdy journal. Here's all the New York papers. Here's the full particulars of the patriotic loco-foco movement yesterday in which the Whigs was so chawed up, and the last Alabama gouging case, and the interesting Arkansas duel with the Bowie knives, and all the political, commercial, and fashionable news. Here they are. Here they are. Here's the papers. Here's the papers." And down into this alley, if you just take a quick little turn, you will in fact end up here in Newsy's Alley inside of the Whitechapel Club, which was the press club for people who wrote papers like that about 50 years later in the 1890s. All of the gruesome crime stories. We're regulars around here. They're going to know us when they see us.
Oh, it's you and all of your guests.
Hey, guys.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, might as well come inside.
Thanks. I was hoping you could help me out.
With drinks, I assume.
Actually, I was hoping you knew what the Pickwick Papers was about.
Pickwick Papers? All I know is that the pineapple rum is like a beginner's version of our punch.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Dickens died before he could finish The Mystery of Edwin Drood. I was just about to explain my theory about how it was going to end.
Oh, well,
Please sit down. This will take a few hours. Now, let's assume that the obviously telegraphed ending with the quicklime and the ring was one of Jasper's opium dreams.
Okay,
and
everybody, run! Okay, there's only one thing to do when somebody starts telling you their theories about this, is we're going to jump straight to hyperspace. Here, what's this transmission coming in?
Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. Please to put a penny in the old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you.
Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat.
The Dead Ringers, everybody.
Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. If you haven't got a penny in the old man's hat, if you haven't got a penny, a penny will do. If you haven't got a penny, then God bless you. Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat. If you haven't got a penny in the old man's hat, if you haven't got a penny, God bless you. If you haven't got a penny, then God bless you. If you haven't got a penny, the goose is getting fat. If you haven't got a penny in the old man's hat, if you haven't got a penny, God bless you. Haven't got a penny, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. If you God bless you, then God bless you. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you. Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat.
The Dead Ringers filling in for Miss Piggy on that particular song, everybody. Beams in as we travel through time and space. Now, why don't we go back to the UK, as far as we can get from anybody telling us about how the mystery of Edwin Drood was supposed to end. We will check out Fezziwig's Ball. As alluded to in A Christmas Carol, which was written simultaneously in the middle of Martin Chuzzlewit. He wrote that over the course of it being serialized, needed some cash, so he thought, oh, I'll do a Christmas special. Before that was really a popular thing, too. But even though it was strictly a cash-in, if you read it, he had to have been at least a little bit inspired. I would even contend that Martin Chuzzlewit really picks up after he wrote Christmas Carol. It's one of the first times he wrote something where he mastered the gift that normally mastered him. Just listen to this prose. Old Marley was dead as a doornail. Mind, I don't mean to say that I know of my own knowledge what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I might have been inclined, myself, to regard a coffin nail as the deadest piece of ironmongery in the trade. But the wisdom of our ancestors is in the simile, and my unhallowed hands shall not disturb it, or the country's done for. You will therefore permit me to repeat, emphatically, that Marley was dead as a doornail. Or talk about this. It was the cold, bleak, biting weather, foggy withal, and he could hear the people in the court outside go wheezing up and down, beating their hands upon their breasts and stamping their feet upon the pavement stones to warm them. The city clocks had only just got 3, but it was quite dark already. It had not been light all day, and the candles were flaring in the windows of the neighboring offices like ruddy smears upon the palpable brown air. Now, this was Dickens' first short book, too, which probably helps. Towards the end, he, after Mr. Scrooge gets all better, kind of a spoiler alert there, Scrooge and Cratchit decide to sit down for a bowl of smoking bishop. A smoking bishop is something we can't just make while we're here, but I will cover it a little bit. You start with 5 Seville oranges, or 1 normal orange, or 5 normal oranges and 1 grapefruit. You bake them with cloves. Add like this, bake, add a little bit of wine, let it sit for 24 hours, then add hot water. Now, they did not actually have this at Mr. Fezziwig's ball that Scrooge went to back when he was a young man, but they did specify what the music was here. Among them, there was a song called Nottingham Ale, which we just happen to have the Dead Ringers here for as well. Nottingham Ale, ladies and gentlemen.
Ye surgeons who more executions have done with potions and powders and bolus and pill, than hangmen with noose, or soldiers with guns, or miser with famine, or lawyer with quill, to dispatch us the quicker, forbid us malt liquor, till our bodies grow weak and our faces grow pale.
But mind who he pleases, what cures all diseases is a comforting bottle of Nottingham Ale.
Nottingham Ale, boys, Nottingham Ale, no liquor on earth is like Nottingham Ale. Nottingham Ale, boys, Nottingham Ale, no liquor on earth is like Nottingham Ale.
Nottingham Ale. So that was one of the airs they would have played here at this particular party. And they also mentioned that it was usually the last song of the night would be Sir Roger McCoverley. That was the name of the song, usually the last one played here, often in a medley with Nottingham Ale. So for that, we have got the infamous fiddler Amy McNally with a medley of Sir Roger, Nottingham Ale, and Nancy Dawson. Jimmy McNally, the infamous fiddler, everybody. But you know, we still have not found out what the Pickwick Papers is all about. Hey, well, maybe Mr. Fezziwig knows. Hey, Mr. Fezziwig, can you tell us what the Pickwick Papers are about?
No.
Yeah, I guess I should have known. A Christmas Carol came out in 1842. It must have taken place way before Pickwick even came out. Well, especially the party would have taken place years ago. So, yeah, that party probably happened in about 1780, way before the Pickwick Papers. So why don't we just go to a place associated from Dickens' last completed novel, not Drood, and go check out the Six Jolly Fellowship Porters. Let me redo that map here. Right down there on the banks of the Thames. So, this was a pub known as the Six Jolly Fellowship Porters that features heavily in a book called Our Mutual Friend from 1865, his last completed novel. There's a great scene. There's a couple of lawyers named Rayburn and Lightwood who drive around saying things like, idiots all talk of energy. If there is a word in the dictionary under any letter from A to Z that I abominate, it is energy. It is such a conventional superstition, such parrot gabble. What the deuce? But show me a good opportunity, show me something really worth being energetic about, and I'll show you energy. These are a couple of young lawyers with no clients and really nothing to do, but when they get involved in this, mystery investigation, they go to the Six Jolly Fellowship Porters under pretense of being lime merchants and get way, way too into pretending to be lime merchants. It's really quite fun. The Six Jolly Fellowship Porters was right on the banks of the Thames, always looking like it was about to lean in. Dickens described it as like a diver hesitating to go inside of the book Our Mutual Friend, which is like the whole Dickens canon in redo. You can even get it for your Dickens village if you're so inclined. Here's Jenny and Raya also show up there. Jenny Wren, kind of a magical character in the book. But it is very thinly based, very thinly disguised version of a real pub called The Grapes. Everybody knew about it at the time. Everybody knew exactly which one he meant. The river is not far from here. It goes right up to at the time it went right up to the water. Now they've got an embankment in there so it doesn't go right into the river anymore. But so it looks about like this. And inside it looks about like you would picture as well. It is currently owned by Sir Ian McKellen, who hangs out around here. Now and then he even shows up and joins on somebody's pub team. Probably just a random one. Let's see what the bartender has for us here.
Good evening, sir. Good heavens, but you look a fright.
It's been a long night through time and space.
I should say so. Perhaps a burned sherry to calm your nerves.
I hear you burn sherry well here, but we're all pretty drunk and really cold.
Then a port negus. Now the main ingredient is pickled calves' feet, but you can just take some lemon and orange peel, put them in port with cinnamon and cloves, and then let it steep for a while. Then add hot water. It won't make you too much more drunk, and the orange oil will warm you right up.
All right, that sounds good, yeah.
Oh, or a Rocky Mountain sneezer. Ooh. Dickens's American landlord made one for him, and
yeah, I'll tell them all about that in a second. We just had a question. You've been more help than everybody else, but can you ask people something?
My dear boy, the Grapes dates back to the days of good Queen Bess herself. Try me.
Is there anyone here who can tell me what the Pickwick Papers is all about?
I can.
You can?
Lights, please. You see, Adam, the Pickwick Papers, there's no particular plot. It's not about anything. They just wander around eating and drinking for 800 pages.
Just like we've been doing.
Precisely. And that's what the Pickwick Papers is all about, Charlie Brown.
Why, that's what Christmas is all about too, right?
Well, in England at least.
All right, so here we are at the Grapes. So that's what the Pickwick Papers is about. It's not about anything. They just wander around eating and drinking for about 800 pages. That is pretty much it. Now, burnt sherry is a drink that they make in Our Mutual Friend here. Nobody really knows what the hell they meant about it. They just have a really dramatic way of warming up sherry. That's kind of it. Well, let's head back to the United States just briefly. We're just going to check out quickly just as a build-in to our next one. Here's St. Louis. Here's St. Louis during their World's Fair. Here's St. Louis with our Ferris wheel. And here's Teddy Roosevelt, 1903, with some ceiling, another Chicago connection there. Inaugurating the St. Louis World's Fair. This is why I just can't really get behind Meet Me in St. Louis. You have to move. They're sad that they're moving from St. Louis to New York. I don't get it. Also, in the grounds where the fair is now, they have the art museum. We call this the Portrait of Mandy Crypt. It is officially known as Smiling Girl, a Courtesan holding an obscene image. He's like pointing to this picture of a guy's butt. What was this picture even? Oh yeah, this is another picture that's in there. This is my Uncle Nate. He's super into Foghat. But while we're talking about St. Louis and Meet Me in St. Louis, of course, that's all just a lead-in. Meet Me in St. Louis doesn't need a plot any more than the Pickwick Papers does. It's really just a vehicle for Judy Garland to sing some great songs. And to sing one of those, here is our good friends Bill and Mary.
Merry Christmas!
Marissa, I'm
this
drunk
is
already.
for you. This is my favorite Christmas song, and this is Bill Zeffiro on the piano, and my name is Marissa, and we're so happy to sing for you. Christmas future is far away. Christmas past is past. Christmas present is here to stay, bringing joy that will last. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas
right, that is Marissa and Bill, my favorite cabaret duo from New York City. I used to see them in Hell's Kitchen all the time pre-pandemic. Saw Marissa again up in Riverside Heights or Morningside Heights a while ago at the Ellington. But all right, as my favorite cabaret singer, you can also look up Marissa Mulder on all of your wherever streams are strummed. But now we have figured everything out. I guess that means we have come to the end of the Time Travel Pub Crawl. Once again, everybody, our annual Drink Like the Dickens edition. So that means we are going to, should you need a Mysterious Chicago sweatshirt or hoodie or etc. for these upcoming cold months, cafepress.com/Mysterious Chicago has everything that you need. Is this video still here? Yeah, here's Miles as a kitten chasing his tail, which he still does all the time. He's just been chasing his tail the last couple of days, haven't you, Miles? Miles is still sitting right up here. He really enjoyed dancing for you guys tonight. He kept coming back for more and more. But with that, everybody, we will put up the pay links, or some of them. There's also Cash App is also Mysterious Chicago. And with that, we will put the Benny Goodman back on and just hang out like always. The weather outside is frightful. And since we've no place to go, let that crazy snow keep falling, everybody. Behind me, we have got... This is Ronnie and her mom, Lenora. You know Lenora from the comments. They're back there. Aiden's right over here. And you all know Miles. There you go. Well, thanks for coming by, everybody. Thank you, Sal, over on YouTube. Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Aviva. Hey, June. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Georgia. Thanks, everybody who's been sending in Venmo donations over the course of the day and PayPals. That is my favorite Marissa album, too, Dad. Tom in his own words, or Tom Waits Cabaret Show. She hasn't done an album for John Prine one, but that would be good, too. Her Beatles one is great, too. There's a great medley of I'll Follow the Sun and Tomorrow Never Knows. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, I haven't figured out how I'm doing Find a Grave tomorrow. It's probably not going to be go outside weather. I'd be surprised if the cemeteries are even open tomorrow. I'll figure something out, but I don't know how we're going to do that. I'm glad to have you, Sue. Yeah, and if there's a box to tick to make it for a friend, then yeah, theoretically that'll get me out of some taxes. But you don't have to. Do I have any photos of graves in London? I don't have many. I haven't been to other than Westminster Abbey. That place in Surrey.
Benny Goodman plays the Basin Street Blues. Won't you come along with me down the Mississippi?
Lila Tov, Lisa. Toda raba. Ein bedma. Good night, Evelyn. Yeah, it might just have to be, we might have to do find out something to do online tomorrow. Eli does have a Venmo. I can never remember what it was. Let me see if I can text it really quick. I think he's got a middle initial in there or something. I was about to tell you what I thought it was, then I realized, no, that's not his middle initial. What was in my head? Oh, it looks like it is just Eli Seltzer. At Eli Seltzer, that should do it. I'll type that in here, just in case. Happy Hanukkah, Gene. I actually got to use some of my Hebrew with the bakery today. Ali rotze sufganyo bebekasha. My Hebrew would have been the worst of anybody in that bakery, but still. Miguel, I did go to New York Bialy and Bagel today, but when I spoke Hebrew, I was North Shore Kosher Bakery. I went to 2 bakeries today. But yeah, guys, there's a whole bag of bagels over there. Bagels in a large cup, $10.20. Good bagels, too. Let me see if I can find something here that I liked the other day. I'm gonna pause this, pause the music a second and put up this video that I saw the other day. You know, it's somebody did some fun stuff with a World Cup scene.
Tiny Tim, who did not die. Isn't that swell? To Tiny Tim.
I thought that was just delightful. Cindy, I hope we looked good anyway. Julius, I'll make a turkey that day. January 6th, can we put the report out? I'll be reading that. Let's just see Josh Hawley skipped the whole speech yesterday, probably because he's a Russian asset and everybody knows it. Maybe not necessarily an asset, just he wants Putin to win. Kaufman's. I ought to try Kaufman's too. I still haven't been to Schlogel's either. I pass it on the way to New York Bialy and Bagel all the time. There's something else I've been sharing lately. See, I just never fail to notice how uncanny it is that Matt Gaetz looks like Butthead. It's just uncanny. Joyce, no new books scheduled anytime soon. Not yet. I'm working on a giant Johann Hawk book right now. It won't be giant by the time I'm done with it. It's just a giant project. Doing all the research and organizing all the research.
Like gems of rubies, with the stars reflected in the rubies. Like
Yeah, frankly, Butthead is smarter and better natured than that guy. The cultural commentary in those videos is often quite astute. And of course, speaking of the Johann Hawk book, I went to try to find one of his wives, one of the most interesting of his wives, who is buried at Montrose Cemetery. They have to do some research to find her because it's like earlier than their records go. But while I was there, who should pull in right behind me in a pickup truck but Santa Claus at the cemetery. That's the cool thing about hanging out in cemeteries is that everything that happens there is at least a little bit surreal.
Far enough, you'll recognize this tune, the Limehouse Blues. It's still got a lot of dancing in it.
John, that is correct. Usually when I do this photo comparison, Jim Jordan is Beavis, and it works. He wasn't as jolly as anybody I ever met. He was pretty jolly. For a cemetery, pretty jolly. He did give me a piece of candy, though. I asked him if Mrs. Claus was buried there. He said no and gave me some candy. He seemed kind of confused by the question. I have not eaten cemetery candy yet. like, oh yeah, I do know some people at Montrose who are on the naughty list. Remember the flying bootlegger that we looked up there a while ago? Those of you just joining us, this is Benny Goodman Company live in the Congress Hotel in downtown Chicago, playing music. Well, live in 1936. Cemetery Candy sounds like a good new podcast. I don't know if I'm going to keep Cemetery Mixtape up. It costs a lot of money to keep that page up, and I don't think anybody really listens to it anymore. I need to restart it or do something else with it. I don't want to do another podcast unless I got somebody backing me. Or something. Joyce, if the Congress Hotel isn't haunted, no place is haunted. And the obvious conclusion of that to us, Captain, well, okay, well, then no place is haunted. I have had more weird stuff happen to me in the Congress than any place else I go. Yeah, people listen to Cemetery Mixtape, someone who was new, but it never really caught on. Enough to be worth the effort, anyway. The whole conceit of having an original song with each one was really slowed things down with that. Hey, Miles. Want to do some more dancing? Someone back for more. Say happy Hanukkah to everybody. We don't usually do real candles around here because Miles likes them too much. I think Cemetery Underpants is just a new Starcrawler album. Do I know about any murders in the Congress? I might, but there's a lot of real nonsense stories about the Congress from over the years. Since it became a famously haunted place, people have just made up stories about it right and left. And even, I was on the first ghost investigation of it, and even then you were seeing like Thomas Edison and Al Capone haunt the place. Nah, come on.
From the Joseph Urban Room of the Congress Hotel in downtown Chicago, vocalists heard tonight were Helen Ward and Joe Harris.
Yeah, if you poke around online, I've got a whole article about Congress Hotel fact and fiction that'll cover quite a bit of this stuff.
WEAF, New York.
WBAI, New York. I've been on WBAI. I was on Bob Foss's Radio Nothing one time. Hanging out over here. Laura, I got some peppermint ice cream at the Aldi, but it wasn't good. Whole Foods had some really good kind last year.
Rhythm by Benny Goodman and his orchestra, the Raja Rhythm, playing for you from the Joseph Urban Room of the Congress Hotel in downtown Chicago. Dodging a Divorcee, the first number. Benny Goodman and his orchestra.
It still seems, doesn't seem too bad out there, really. Lynn, that's interesting. Quite a number of people accidentally killed themselves in the Congress Hotel circa the 30s. Others did so intentionally. Others do it for them. Built in 1893, by 1930s, Congress Hotel was a star in its own right, playing host to movie stars, opera singers, gangsters. Happy holidays, Joyce. Thank you, Dave and Barb. Ooh, Lynn, that's rough. Miles is still hanging out over here. Aren't you, Miles? Yeah, what are we at here, weather-wise in Chicago right now? It is 0 in Chicago right now. And feels like negative 21. I could, in fact, freeze a pair of pants right now. That doesn't take that long, you know. That's what you do. You just, you gotta get them wet first.
Benny Goodman presents Helen Ward singing "The Day I Let You Get Away."
I took that prank about as far as it can go. Stay warm, Mom. As the wind is howling and the storm is outrageous, chopped through the night and chopped through the dawn. You all know I'm going to Minnesota next month, right? You know how easy it is to get a flight to Minneapolis in January? It's cheap. It's not snowing too much out there, I don't think. I'm daydreaming. We're probably not going to be able to do a proper grave finding tomorrow, but we'll see. I also am not really sure how well the phone's going to work broadcasting in weather like that. I'll come up with something. I'm to day 2 of the inquest after Hawk arrived in Chicago. Just got through the chapter where they finally debunked the Holmes and Hawk connection. in which lots of people from the H.H. Holmes book get to make cameos. Lynn, congrats to your husband. Appendixes are so last millennia anyway. Yeah, those of you who might be new out there, check out the Mysterious Chicago Regulars and Miles fan club page. I don't have a publisher lined up yet for the Hawk book. I'm between agents right now, for the first time in like 10 years. I don't know who it's going to be. There's a couple of lines on it. But it doesn't matter, do I want to go with an academic press again? Am I better off just putting it out myself? Look at the contract I had for the Holmes book, and like, clearly this would have been better off just doing it myself. No, they did an okay job getting it out there. I couldn't get a book I wrote myself into an airport bookstore. I published myself into an airport bookstore. Hey, Miles. What's up, man? Trouble is, he is so trained to get attention whenever I'm on the computer. I remember going to Graceland to work on the Graceland book during Polar Vortex days, and I can still do it. The problem is your phone battery dies real fast when it's that cold. Yeah, if I had an archive to go to tomorrow, I would go. Negative 38 in Urbandale, wind chill. I remember those days. Once in a while, we'd even get off of school for a day like that. Not often, mind you. Like once in like 94, 95. Ah, Laura, you're in Beaverdale. Snooky's malt shop still there.
Benny Goodman is playing for you from the Joseph Urban Room of the Congress Hotel in downtown Chicago, and his next tune, Lights Out.
All right, you gonna hop down, Miles? Hopping down now, okay. All right, Miles. Well, all right, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago Tours. And today we have got all kinds of people here. We got Ronnie and Lenora are back here. Aiden is back here. There he is. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must get back to my zither practice. So, thanks a lot for joining me, everybody. I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago Tours. We will be back in the morning. I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll come up with something fun, as we do all the time. So thanks a lot for joining me. I'm Adam from Mysterious Chicago Tours, telling everybody to stay safe and stay strong. And, of course, if you can, ladies and gentlemen, well, mostly stay warm, but if you can, also stay spooky. Thanks, everybody. And thanks for everybody who's been hitting that donate button today. A lot of you have been tonight. That's fantastic. Well, you love to see it. Thanks so much, everybody. It means the world.